Hey, what's going on, my North County Evolve fam? So, as you know, I'm your girl Kelly, and I'm here to give you the lowdown, the rundown on what happened in St. Louis County government this week because my job is attending meetings, so you don't have to, and I'm gonna get right into it. So, I attempted to attend 3 meetings this week. The first meeting was Monday evening. The St. Louis County Department of Public Health, they had an advisory board meeting, and I attended something, I guess, pretty much similar to that on the city side. So I wanted to peep it, and I was out and about, so I opted to call in because all these virtual options, you have to have a call-in option to make sure that, folks that don't have access to the internet, all of that, have access to attend these meetings, right? So I call in. Y'all, I tried for like 10-15 minutes to get into this meeting, and I'm not a newbie when it comes to joining meetings and calling in as well. And I unfortunately was not able to attend that meeting. So yeah, the Department of Public Health advisory folks, you need to double check and make sure that your access codes are accurate for people to join your meetings. All right. On that note, I was successful in being able to access and attend 2 meetings this week. So the first one, the St. Louis County Council meeting. So I did want to lift up one of the bills that was introduced. It was introduced by Councilwoman Shalonda Webb, and this bill would provide additional protections of domestic violence victims and revised penalties for those that commit domestic abuse. There were several bills that were passed on Tuesday. Again, I'm just going to highlight a few of them. So the first, Bill 102, and it was like super fast-tracked by its sponsor, Councilwoman Clancy. I mean, like, it was on the introduction of bills, then it was perfected Tuesday, and then again, all of the members voted to have it up for final passage, and the council members passed this bill. So this bill is regarding the qualifications of the St. Louis County Auditor. So it would basically like increase the certifications, really like the qualifications needed for someone who wants to be the auditor. Like, yeah, you're going to have to get X, Y, and Z, I guess, to kind of beef it up a little bit more. So that was passed. Bill 76, aka the Crown Act, it was passed. So really quickly, the Crown Act, again, really supports and it provides, again, additional supports to ensure that Black and brown people are not discriminated against with regards to housing and employment because of their hair, their natural hair. So there was one lone vote from 6th District Councilman Tracus, and his reason is, and I quote, "I fear it will create additional claims against the county." Well, it still passed. Yeah. And then there were a couple other bills that were passed regarding the acceptance of grants. So bill number 78 would accept up to about $18,000 in grant funding to support the Department of Public Health's First Responders Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act for Missouri project. And then the second bill, number 79, accepts a grant from the FBI to support costs of expansion for lease space for the St. Louis County Police Department. And then lastly, but certainly not least, with the county council meeting, we have the resolutions. So I'm kind of lifting up like 3 of them. So resolution number 1, that was introduced, sponsored, what have you, by Councilwoman Clancy, condemns racist and violent acts against Asians and Pacific Islanders. And the resolution did pass, but there was a 4-3 split with councilmen Fitch, Tracus, and Harder voting against the passage of this resolution. And so Harder, he provided his reasoning for why he was voting no. Side note, he had this goatee action, and it like completely threw me off because I'm like, wait, who is that? Oh, wow. Okay, that's Harder with this goatee. Okay, bro. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. So, again, Harder, he voted no. He voted against this resolution, and this is his reasoning. And I quote, "When you start listing groups, you're going to miss somebody. And when you miss someone, it's a permission slip. We should condemn discrimination all across the board." So, yes, regardless, it did pass. This resolution did pass. Resolution number 2 from Councilman Fitch opposes any type of earnings tax for St. Louis County. So again, this resolution was passed. So really quickly, so I'm a city resident. What up, my STL City fam, if y'all peeping this. And, you know, we have our earnings tax here in the city, and it was actually up for vote because I believe every 5 years we have to vote to approve it. And essentially, it's a 1% earnings tax collected from all city residents, whether they work in the county or what have you. And also non-city residents who work in the city of St. Louis, they also, you know, pay that tax. And so it's actually like roughly a third when we're talking about the budget, right? When we're talking about revenue for the city of St. Louis. So it is a significant piece of the city of St. Louis's budget. And so I guess Councilman Fitch, he had heard, you know, then candidate Jones, now Mayor Tashara Jones, mentioning, you know, really, again, partnering with St. Louis County on some things. And maybe this was potentially one of those things to collaborate on, the earnings tax. And so Fitch was like, nah, we ain't checking for that in St. Louis County. And so, again, his opposition for an earnings tax or something like that in St. Louis County, it passed. And then the third resolution, which was introduced by Councilwoman Dunaway, pretty much it's basically an effort to reduce bird mortality by urging folks to turn off their external lights during the time that birds are migrating, because apparently bird mortality is real in the region. So this resolution, it passed unanimously. And then, okay, lastly but certainly not least, I attended another meeting. It was the St. Louis County Council's Justice, Health, and Welfare Committee meeting. And the purpose of the meeting was for the St. Louis County Department of Public Health to provide an update on the COVID-19 vaccination program. So from the Department of Public Health, we had two folks that were providing these updates: the new director, Dr. Khan, and the deputy director, Spring Schmidt. So again, they were folks from the health department that were given these updates. So I'm just going to mention a few of the highlights, some of the takeaways I had from attending this meeting. So the first, there are less North County residents that have been vaccinated compared to folks in other parts of the county. So that was really clear and apparent. There was this map that was provided, which if you, again, you know, kind of look on our page, I did try to post that. And again, you know, pictures worth 1,000 words. So overall, though, 28.6% of St. Louis County residents have received at least one dose of the vaccine. Again, in going back and speaking to, again, you know, less North County residents being vaccinated compared to, you know, more affluent and more white parts of St. Louis County, you know, there was a discussion around, yes, the public health, the Department of Public Health, they are working to really perform, like, you know, intentional outreach and community engagement in North County, just regarding the vaccine and addressing a lot of the hesitancies and, you know, at least trying to provide the right information so folks can make, you know, that informed decision on whether to get the vaccine or not. And so apparently, you know, in addition to folks from the Department of Public Health, you know, going out and speaking at various community events and hosting or co-hosting town halls and things like that. There's also a North County outreach group, which consists of over 45 members and counting that have been working, again, with the Department of Public Health to develop and implement engagement and outreach strategies. So from what I'm gathering, this outreach group is really in tune with the community, part of the community, so they are listening to what the streets are saying, right? The streets are talking, so I guess they're relaying that information to the Department of Public Health so they can inform them in developing an effective outreach strategy. But, you know, everyone overall agreed, and, you know, Councilwoman Days, you know, really summed it up, and she said we have to do better in terms of outreach. I know there are a lot of concerns around most of the outreach, regarding virtual, things in the virtual space. And as we know, not everyone has access to the internet. Not everyone is, super experienced or comfortable with utilizing the internet. You know what I'm saying? So, that was definitely voiced and expressed on exploring alternative means to communicate this information to residents in North County. And then also, there are current efforts in the works, y'all, for folks to register and receive the vaccination in the same day. So when that starts happening, there will be promotion of these events. So that's all I have for you this week. Please stay safe, stay well, enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you next week. Peace.